Money has the power to change everything: where you live, how you travel, even how people treat you. But here's the twist. Some of the world's wealthiest individuals with fortunes worth billions have chosen not to indulge in extreme luxuries. Instead, they live modestly, value simplicity, and dedicate their fortunes to improving the lives of others. In this video, we'll dive into the stories of 10 humble billionaires whose lives challenge our assumptions about what it really means to be rich, and why true success is often measured not by what you keep, but by what you give. Number 1. Chuck Feeney. Chuck Feeney, co-founder of duty-free shoppers, secretly gave away more than $8 billion during his lifetime. For decades, his donations were anonymous. Universities, hospitals, and charities across the globe were transformed without anyone knowing the man behind the gifts. What made him special wasn't just his philanthropy, it was how he lived. He wore cheap watches, carried papers in a plastic bag, and refused to own luxury cars or mansions. By the time he passed away in 2023, his net worth had dropped to almost nothing. By design. Feeney believed in giving while living, proving that generosity outlives fortune. Number 2. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, often called the Oracle of Omaha, has a net worth in the tens of billions. Yet he still lives in the house he bought in 1958 for just $31,500. He drives himself to work, starts his mornings with a McDonald's breakfast that costs less than $4, and prefers soda over fine wine. Buffett has pledged to give away more than 99% of his fortune through the Giving Pledge. Despite being a financial titan, his humility lies in showing the world that joy isn't in constant upgrades, but in consistency, relationships, and purpose. Number 3. Azim Premji. Azim Premji, founder of Wipro, is known not just for his business empire, but for being India's biggest philanthropist. He has donated over $21 billion to education, rural development, and healthcare. Despite his vast fortune, Premji is frugal to the core. He reportedly drove a modest Toyota Corolla for years, monitored office expenses down to toilet paper rolls, and still eats in company cafeterias. His life proves that influence is more powerful when paired with humility. Number 4. Amancio Ortega. Amancio Ortega, founder of Zara, is one of the richest men in Europe, but you wouldn't know it by his lifestyle. Ortega lives in a simple apartment in La Coruña, Spain, and is known to wear the same style of outfit almost every day, a plain shirt and blazer. He avoids public attention, rarely gives interviews, and often eats meals with his employees in the company cafeteria. In a fashion world obsessed with status symbols, Ortega shows that power doesn't need a spotlight. Number 5. Carlos Slim. Carlos Slim Helú, worth over $80 billion at his peak, could afford castles and jets, but instead chose a grounded lifestyle. He has lived in the same 6-bedroom home in Mexico City for decades, drives himself to work, and avoids extravagance. Slim invests heavily in education, healthcare, and infrastructure projects across Latin America, ensuring his wealth improves lives far beyond his own. His story is a reminder that dignity doesn't need display. Number 6. Bill Gates. Bill Gates co-founded Microsoft and became one of the world's richest men. But what defines him isn't his company's success, it's what he's done since. Through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, he has donated more than $59 billion to fight disease, poverty, and educational inequality worldwide. Personally, Gates avoids excessive luxury. He has been spotted wearing affordable watches, enjoys reading more than parties, and emphasizes problem-solving over prestige. His humility lies in treating wealth not as an end, but as a tool for progress. Number 7. Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata, the former chairman of Tata Group, is deeply respected in India and beyond. Despite leading one of the largest conglomerates, he never appeared on billionaire lists because much of the company's profits go into charitable trusts. Tata has been known to visit employees in hospitals, fly economy class, and live without personal extravagance. His most symbolic act was the launch of the Tata Nano, the world's cheapest car, not to make profits but to provide affordable transportation for working families. Number 8. Ingvar Kamprad. Ingvar Kamprad, the founder of IKEA, built a global empire by selling affordable furniture. Yet, even at the height of his wealth, he drove an old Volvo, shopped at flea markets, and insisted on flying economy. He famously once said, "People say I'm cheap and I don't mind if they call me thrifty. But if I start spending what our customers earn, That's a betrayal. Kamprad believed simplicity wasn't just a business model, it was a philosophy. Number 9. Manoj Bhargava. Manoj Bhargava, the man behind 5-Hour Energy, made billions from his product, but pledged to give away 99% of his fortune. He focuses his donations on innovations that solve real-world problems, like providing clean water, renewable energy, and affordable healthcare in developing countries. Bhargava doesn't flaunt his wealth. He lives in a modest home in Michigan and works quietly behind the scenes to scale life-changing projects. His humility is in using wealth as responsibility, not status. Number 10. Narayana Murthy. Narayana Murthy, co-founder of Infosys, is widely respected as one of India's most ethical businessmen. Despite building a multi-billion-dollar company, Murthy is known for his modesty and discipline. He lived in a small, middle-class home for much of his life, often flew economy class, and kept his salary relatively modest compared to other CEOs. His leadership style emphasized fairness and transparency, earning him admiration across the globe. Lessons from their lives. The lives of these billionaires teach us a profound lesson. Wealth doesn't have to mean excess. For Chuck Feeney, it was about giving until nothing was left, proving that generosity can become a person's greatest legacy. For Warren Buffett, it was about staying grounded in the same modest habits he had long before fame and fortune, reminding us that contentment doesn't come from upgrading lifestyles, but from appreciating what we already have. For Azim Premji, Ratan Tata, and Narayana Murthy, wealth became a responsibility, a chance to build schools, fund hospitals, and lift entire communities out of hardship, rather than indulge in extravagance. And for Bill Gates, Manoj Bhargava, Amancio Ortega, Ingvar Kamprad, and Carlos Slim, fortune was never a vanity project. It was a tool to solve real problems, support people, and create a future where money serves humanity, not the other way around. What ties all of them together is a shared belief that money is not the ultimate measure of success. True greatness isn't found in yachts, palaces, or diamond-studded watches, but in humility, compassion, and purpose. These billionaires could have chosen lives of untouchable luxury, yet they proved that joy comes from living simply, giving generously, and leading by example. Their stories remind us that even at the highest peaks of wealth, the richest life is often the simplest one, a life where dignity comes from service, happiness from gratitude, and legacy from lifting others. So the next time you imagine the life of a billionaire, remember, not all fortunes are displayed in yachts or mansions. Some of the wealthiest people on earth live quieter lives, driven not by status but by service. If their stories inspired you to rethink what success really means, make sure to subscribe, because the richest stories are the ones that teach us how to live.